Guys, before we start, first of all, congratulations to Tab Ramos and the U20 national team, right? It's quite an accomplishment beating France, right? Yeah, 3-2 final. You guys seem a little, a little round of applause, huh? Come on, man. Huh?
Greg, obviously the new arrivals have only been here for a few days, so in terms of your lineup tomorrow, is there going to be an emphasis on the guys that have been here the previous week, or is it going to be a mix, or are you going to go with the new guys? And
well, I think it has to be mixed. We don't have enough remaining guys to field the lineup. So it will be mixed. I think, you know, we had a clear objective of that first camp. It was to focus on a group of players that we knew would be available for the Jamaica game, and we did that. And now as we incorporate the guys that just arrived, you know, some of them will be playing in the game.
And just as a follow-up, you know, when do you expect Tyler Adams and Christian Pulisic to arrive? Are they going to be available for the Venezuela game, do you think, or is it?
Yeah, so with both of those players, it's a good question. And with both of those players, you know, we carefully looked at what they've been doing this season. We looked at, you know, some of their plans for next season and where they need to be physically, and we gave them, or we gave an arrival time based on that. So Tyler's going to arrive on June 11th, and Christian's going to arrive on June 6th. And, you know, both of those dates were determined by our performance staff based on where they need to be, based on the work they did this season.
To your right, Brian.
Hi, Greg.
Hi.
Hey. Kind of piggybacking on Jeff's question, both Christian and Tyler are important players, and they kind of both have unique skill sets. How do you compensate for their absence in a friendly where you're trying to build toward a tournament? Because they can both also do different kinds of things on the field and play in different kind of spots. And so you can't really test them in those spots because they're not here. So how do you accommodate for their absence, like I said, when you're trying to sort of build a framework for a competition like the Gold Cup?
Well, I think the good thing about it is you know, you get to see other options, and that's important. You know, we know in a tournament format that the games come, you know, very quick after another, and we know there's a lot of travel associated with it. So we know we need other guys to step up, and this gives the other guys an opportunity to get fit, to be involved in our system, and to play. We know that they will be options, but we also have other options as well, and that's important to develop those other options. No, but I think, you know, it's a system game that we play, and Christian has a role in his system, and he may be able to execute his role better than others, but others can fit in and into the system as well.
To your left, Paul.
Greg, have you had an update on Sebastian Lletget, and if he's not available, what kind of can you speak to the competition for those dual number 10 roles and what you're looking for from the left side where Christian's played and also from the right side where we've seen Weston regularly kind of feature?
Yeah, so, you know, with Sebastian, we're going to make the final determination today after talking to the medical staff both in LA and here in camp, and we'll determine, you know, the way forward. In terms of those positions, you know, offensively they operate pretty similar. In terms of we want them in the pocket, we want them turning, we want them activating the winger. I think with Christian, he has the freedom to interchange with the winger. The winger can come in the pocket, he can be isolated wide because that's his skill set. So that's offensively. Defensively, one of them we asked to step up with the striker to defend, and the other we asked to drop next to the defensive midfield. So when you look at profiles like that, we saw Sebastian at more of the Christian profile. A guy who's versatile, who can go wide, come inside, defends high with the striker. In that profile, we also have Georgi Mihailovic. And then in the other profile, we have Christian Roldan, we have Dwayne Holmes. And Dwayne's a guy who I think, you know, when you watch him at Derby County, he's a guy that you can see doing both because he is versatile. You know, he's one of those like Weston McKennie type of players where you can put him anywhere on the field and he can hold his own.
Henry.
Greg, given the timing of the game tomorrow and the roster deadline, do you go into the game tomorrow night, tomorrow night with like roster spots up for grabs? Like, are guys playing for Gold Cup roster spots?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? How much are you, are you going to determine from the Jamaica game, right? I think most of the roster is set. You know, I think there will be a few positions that are up for grabs, but not many. And a lot of the work has been done beforehand. But we will make a few decisions based on tomorrow's game.
Behind you. Jonathan.
You've known Zach Steffen for quite a while, obviously. Does this, right now, this summer, this month, seem an even bigger spotlight between the Gold Cup and his going to Man City? And how big a moment is it, do you think, for him?
Well, I think, I think if hearing the question, it sounds like it's a big question. There's a lot of emotion attached to it. There's a lot of gravity attached to it. But if you know Zach, he just takes his stuff in stride. This is nothing for him. He's excited to play the Gold Cup. He's going to compete like heck in the Gold Cup. He's a great goalkeeper. And then he'll take his next step in stride, because that's what he does. What I was very impressed with him early on when I started working with him, how calm he is in situations and how calm he was for a young goalkeeper. I can point to, the game against France where he played their warm-up game for the World Cup. You can point to the playoff game in Atlanta where he's just calm as can be. That's what he does. So this moment for him is a transitional moment, but he'll take it in stride. He's ready to go to his next adventure, and he'll be prepared.
Can I ask a quick follow-up?
Yeah,
if you
go
don't
ahead.
mind? What you've seen of Tyler Miller so far, both
You know,
in national team camp and
yeah.
with LAFC?
So, Tyler's one of those guys that I think who's made huge improvements, and a lot of credit goes to LAFC and Bob Bradley and what they do with him. But we saw him in January camp, and his performance wasn't good enough to continue on with the team in those two friendlies. But since then, he's raised the level of his game. And it's really nice to see guys, start at one point and able to increase their performance. And he's certainly done that. He's been good with his feet. He's been good on crosses, good controlling his penalty box. And I think he's had an excellent year so far.
To your left, Pablo.
Greg, I wonder what you saw the past week out of both Joe Zhao, who's back in camp for the first time in a number of years, obviously, and also Jackson Ewell, who got a chance to kind of get his feet wet a little bit.
So, Jackson wasn't in camp last week. He just arrived in camp. This was his first training session today. But, Jackson, we've been following. And, he's a guy that has performed really well in Major League Soccer, has had an excellent year so far. And it's nice to be able to bring a guy like that into camp and potentially give him an opportunity to perform. I think he's earned it. And regarding Joseph, we watched him in Germany in the second half of the year, and we're looking for wingers that have dynamics, that have a good change of pace, that have very good acceleration, good speed, good 1v1, and he has some of those qualities. So it will be nice to see how those translate into international soccer, but he showed it this week for sure in training.
In the back, Ramses.
Good afternoon, Coach. Just a quick thought on Jamaica. Back-to-back runners-up for Gold Cup. They have a good team. Leon Bailey's going to be in the tournament, and potentially a team you may see in the knockout round. Aside from being a friendly, being important because of that, the fact that you get to play a team with the style of the opposition you may see during the actual tournament.
Yeah, so I think it's important to note that this is the opponent that we chose as a warm-up for the Gold Cup, and exactly for those reasons. Very talented team, very physical team, poses a lot of threats in offensive transition, has very talented players. It's an experienced group. This is going to be a good test for us. This is, we will face opponents like this in the Gold Cup, and it's good for us to get a test.
Up front here.
I've heard from several of the guys that the point of this Gold Cup, the opportunity from this Gold Cup, is to put the U.S. men's national team back in the international eye in the way that it wants to be seen. How much importance have you been giving to the players on this tournament specifically for that purpose? It's
just an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity for us to I think, to show what we're capable of. And we know that we're going to prepare. We're going to prepare the team. We're going to try our best. We're going to play hard. We're going to try to learn from this experience of the Gold Cup. But we see it as a good opportunity for this group. And, we also realize that, that it's not going to be easy, that things won't always go our way, and we're prepared to deal with that.